Now that we're moving into a new year, this is likely when people are going to be setting resolutions and intentions. So we'll start this video off with a question. What do you want your life to look like in the next 30 days? They say it takes 21 days to form a habit. So what are you going to do in the next 21 days that's going to benefit your life for the better? Maybe that is starting an online business, maybe it's starting a new exercise routine, maybe you're learning a new hobby, you're learning a new language. Whatever it is completely up to you. Hey guys, my name is Ania, and in today's video, I'm gonna share with you how I set, plan, and achieve goals, and how you can too for 2021. There are 3 main steps to this process, and the first one is to write your goals down. Duh, nobody is surprised. So whether your goals are big or small, you wanna just get them out on paper and out of your head. This is the first step to actually being able to achieve your goals, is to know what they are. So it doesn't matter what it is, just write it down. But you'll want to keep in mind that you want your goals to be realistic, you want them to be timely, so something that has an end date, and you'll want to make sure it can be broken down into bite-sized pieces. You want to make sure that you feel inspired by your goals instead of overwhelmed. If you're looking at the goals you want to achieve for 2021 and you feel like, oh my God, I'm never going to be able to do this, then you're probably headed down the wrong track. You want to make sure when you look at your goals, you're like, oh my gosh, I can do that. I'm going to do that. It's going to be a great ride. You want to feel very motivated by them. Next, you're going to want to define exactly why you set that as your goal or intention. This step is critical because if you actually want to achieve your goals, you need to have a why. And when you have a why, this really benefits you in the long run because that why is going to push you to continue reaching for that goal when you're uninspired, when you're unmotivated, and when you feel stuck, when you feel like you hit a wall. And you're gonna feel like you hit a wall when you're reaching goals. It just is a part of the process. So you wanna make sure that why is important enough to push you past those blocks so that you can continue going for whatever it is you want. So this why is gonna make this goal incredibly important to you, and that's why it's so important. And now it's time to break down your goal. This step will hopefully make your goals seem more attainable and achievable and will keep you excited about it throughout the duration of the month or year or whatever timeline you have set for your goal. Now, this is coming from somebody who genuinely thought I could not achieve goals. I used to write down a bunch of things that I wanted to get done and none of them would ever pan out. This is the same person who at the beginning of each year would write down 5 or 10 goals and, one weekend just be completely over it, just completely disregard it. And it happens. Sometimes, you go through phases where you think you want something and then once you start doing it, you actually realize you really don't want that. Or when you go through the year and things change and you have to decide on a new goal because your previous goal no longer is relevant to your life. I feel like this was mostly prominent in 2020 with the fact that I'm sure a lot of us, including me, put travel on their list of things that they wanted to do that year. And of course, because of he who shall not be named, we were not able to do that. So, sometimes things are like that are gonna happen. I think you should still aim for the things you want regardless. Don't worry about what you think may or may not happen in the future. Nobody really knows what 2021 is gonna hold, so if you want to make it a goal, just put it on your list. So I will admit that it does take some time to get used to this kind of structure, but I did it, you can do it too. And once you get it down, you'll start to realize that it makes it very easy to get the things that you're wanting. So some of my main goals for this year are taking care of my health this year, hopefully finishing my AA, and adding in self-care is another huge one for me. Now obviously finances and savings is also a huge thing that I focus on every year, but I am going to talk more in depth about that in a future video, so make sure you're subscribed and tune in to watch that. So the next thing we're gonna do, like I stated, is we're gonna define. So now you know what my main 3 goals that I'm gonna be talking about in this video are, and now we have to define why I want to reach those goals, okay? So we're gonna start with, obviously, taking care of my health, which is a pretty big, serious goal to me. So taking care of my health includes exercising, lowering my weight, and avoiding health risks if possible. So the main reason I want to achieve this goal is because earlier in 2020, I had a blood pressure scare where they were thinking about putting me on medication for it, and that's just really not something that I wanted. And something my provider told me was that you can take care of this problem yourself if you change your diet and lose a little bit of weight. You can bring your blood pressure down that way, and that's a way to do that without medication. So that's something that was kind of scary to me, but also kind of woke me up like, hey, I really need to take care of this. I really need to start taking care of myself. 2020 has been a really hard year, and a lot of comfort came from fast food, I will admit. So that's something that I was working on in 2020, but now in 2021, I have a different perspective on it because of the health risk involved. So more than anything, for that reason, this is why this goal means so much to me. I do have people in my family who have a bunch of different health risks, and if I can avoid any of them or put myself in a better place to stay healthier for longer, then that's really important to me. And I'm very young, I'm only 22. I feel like now is a really good time to drill that habit in and continue doing this for the duration of my lifetime. So pretty big why for this one. Okay, next, so finishing my AA. So obviously this is really important to me because college is not for everybody. I will be the first person to say it. I didn't think it was for me initially, but as you guys know, I really truly fell in love with personal finance, and this is a goal that I really want to reach for me. It has nothing to do with anybody else, and I think that's why it's so important to me. It's just something that I really want to do. I really want to stick it out and prove to myself that I can do it and be disciplined in that way, to go to school and work full time and achieve, that stupid little piece of paper, as some of you guys may see it, but it is something that's really important to me. So it is something I'm absolutely working really hard at. So that's, again, another pretty big why for me. And then last but not least, I am the type of person that will give and give until I have nothing. And so for 2020 and for this upcoming year, a really big important thing for me is making sure that I give back to myself. It's making sure that I feel happy within myself, by myself, making sure that I'm happy around family and my partner. And I think it really starts with you. I think you should be happy first before expecting happiness from other people. And so that's something I'm really working on, is just making sure that I'm good and that I'm taken care of so that I can better take care of other people. So those are my defining traits for each goal. Okay, and then next we're gonna be breaking this all down. So I do this by using my bullet journal as a tool to help me break down my bigger goals and put them into actionable steps that I can do every single day, that those small steps lead to the big result of accomplishing the goal. So just looking through my bullet journal, I have so many spreads that actually aid me in doing this. So one of the main spreads that's I guess the biggest indicator of this is my monthly goals, but it's completely throughout my entire bullet journal. So on my monthly goal spreads, you'll see, my 4 main categories broken down into smaller steps. So first we'll start with health. So some of the things that I wanted to do for health was make sure that I drink 8 cups of water every day, make sure I aim to get 7,000 steps in every single day. I usually try and aim for 10,000 now, but 7 is a good goal for the days that I'm at home and I'm not doing anything. At least I can go for a walk or something to try to get that. Taking vitamins every day is another one, and following a workout routine is something that I'm also really passionate about. The next one is school. So prioritizing school, making it a non-negotiable, turning in all my assignments, doing any extra credit that's offered, turning in assignments early if possible, but also making sure that I find the balance between school and work and YouTube and Instagram and all the stuff that I'm taking up this year. So it definitely is a challenge, but it's a challenge I'm willing to take to be able to fit everything I want out of life into my life. And then the last one is self-care. So this includes doing morning routines, doing my night routine, making sure that I'm patient with myself, making sure that I take breaks when I need them, because I'm really bad at that. And one that I added in for specifically the month of January is to do one self-care task every day. I think that's going to be a great addition to my self-care routine, because again, I don't have enough time for myself sometimes, I feel. So it'd be nice to just do one thing every day that is considered self-care that's gonna make me happier. I think it'll help a lot. So I encourage you guys to do the same thing. So all throughout my journal, I have different layouts that help me to achieve my goals. So for example, I have my habit tracker, which has a lot of habits focused on like my health especially, but also just feeling productive, doing my homework, checking in with my bullet journal. But some of the main ones are like making sure I have water, make sure I eat a healthy meal, make sure if I'm like meal prepping, that helps a lot. Did I get a headache that day? Did I work out that day? You know, basically a place to track all of that. While on the other side of that spread, I have my workout tracker, which tracks my workouts. But it also tracks, you know, whether I've had fast food, whether I had soda, which I haven't drank soda in like over a year now, but I still put it there just to remind myself that like, yeah, that's something that you're still doing. So it's kind of one of those habits that just is second nature at this point. I don't even think about it. And that's why I want the rest of my habits to turn into eventually. It's just, I just do it without thinking. It becomes a part of my everyday life. I also track my sleep there, which is, you know, an indicator of mental health, but also can help you in like exercising and losing weight. If that's your goal, you should be getting 8 hours of sleep. I cannot say that I always 8 hours of sleep, but I definitely try. My 2 lines a day spread is another big one, which tracks my mood and my energy. This is really helpful because I tend to feel very tired all the time. I haven't been diagnosed with like chronic fatigue, but it definitely feels like that may be something that I may struggle with, because it does not matter how much sleep I get, I am always tired. And I'm hoping that being on a regular workout routine, eating better, will help me gain more energy, because that's another big thing for me is energy. So my beloved expense trackers help keep me on a budget and help make sure that I'm not, you know, spending crazy amounts of money, or that I'm not spending more money than I have, and just stuff like that. So those, I love those. And then for January in particular, I added in a new spread that is 21 ways to add in self-care. This spread I think is going to be incredible for January going forward, especially since I want to do one self-care task every day. It's really going to help give me ideas of like, okay, what can I do today that's going to make me smile, that's going to make me feel better. So some of the stuff that I have on there is like drink tea, get a coffee from Starbucks, journal, just all kinds of stuff like that, things that I genuinely like doing anyway, and if I could add that into my day, it'd be a big help. And then I have my ideal weekly routine, which of course is just a breakdown of the week and certain things that I would like to get done each day throughout the week. I really like this spread for helping me find the balance between everything that I'm doing, because, you know, in order to do so much at one time, you need to be very organized, and it helps knowing that like, okay, certain days are designated for certain tasks. Of course, there's always an exception to the rule, but if I can follow that for the most part, then it probably will help me out throughout the week. And then of course my gratitude log, which I feel like I talk about so much on Instagram and on YouTube, how much I think that that spread has actually changed my life. It just is incredible to feel grateful for everything in the moment, but still want more. And that's kind of where I'm at right now. So I have really turned this bullet journal into a tool to help me reach my goals. And I think that, you know, if you have a planner or a bullet journal, or you digitally bullet journal or digitally organize your life, I think it's really great to use those things as tools to help you get in little steps every day that get you towards your biggest goal. With all that being said, what will you do with the next 30 days? Leave a comment down below letting me know, and also leave a comment down below if you found anything helpful in this video. I love you guys so much. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video.